Good afternoon, and welcome to Learn at Home with VIA. My name is Mrs. Oha, and I am a 4th grade teacher at the Pittston Area Intermediate Center, where I teach ELA, English Language Arts, and Social Studies. You have just been watching Xavier Riddle's Hero Maker, and you learned how everyday people can do amazing things. A hero means many different things to many different people, but in all cases, a hero is someone who shows strength, ability, and courage. There are famous heroes, and there are everyday heroes. You might know some heroes who are in your own family. You might know some heroes who are superheroes. You might know some heroes who have done things to make this world a better place. But in all cases, heroes have something in common, and those things are called character traits. So take a look up here. The title of our chart says character traits, and you might be asking yourself, what are they? Well, they're words that describe a person's personality or qualities that make them who they are. Now you see this word character in here, so you probably are thinking this is just about characters in books, but that's not true. You and I and everybody else have character traits as well. Their great readers look for character traits through actions and dialogue. Actions are what characters do, or what people do. Dialogue is what characters say, or what people say. So boys and girls, you and I display our character traits every day by the things that we say and the things that we do. So we want to be very careful when we speak, think before we speak, and when we do, think before we do, so that we are showing our absolute best character traits for the world to see. Now when you think of character traits, and let me turn my page here, there's going to be some positive traits, as well as some negative traits. Positive traits are our traits that we are proud of and they make us feel happy. And negative traits, they're the ones we're not so proud of. But we all do have positive traits and negative character traits. We just want to make sure that we are working harder to show our positive traits. Remember, we're not perfect, but every day is a work in progress, and every day we learn from the choices we make. So let's talk about some positive character traits that you might show. Here are some examples. Being respectful. That is listening to your mother, your father, your grandparents, your siblings, your friends. Being generous, being giving, wanting to share with others. Being smart, using that mind to make good choices. Being thoughtful, think of others. Think of what you can do for others to make them feel special. Being brave. Sometimes there are times in our life that could be a little scary, but we must be brave to get through our challenges. Being nice, doing things that will make each other smile. Always being honest, telling the truth, no matter what. Being kind, doing good things for others. Being hardworking, always trying your best. Being clever, that goes along. We have some synonyms here, smart and clever. Always making good choices, thinking before we're speaking, thinking before we're doing. Being confident, to believe in yourself and know that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And to be cooperative. This world is not just about you. You have others that you need to learn to get along with. So these are just some examples of positive character traits. There are many, many more. But on this list, if you take a moment, please think about some of these positive character traits that you think describe you. Are you respectful, generous, smart, thoughtful, brave, nice, honest, kind, hardworking, clever, confident, cooperative? Now, we do need to take a few minutes to talk about those negative character traits. Although they're not the ones that we are proud of, they do happen, and we want to try our best to not display those negative character traits. The first one is bossy. If you are bossy and you are bossing your friends around, telling them what to do, that hurts their feelings. That can go along with being cruel and being unkind, disrespectful. You are not respecting your parents, your friends, your grandparents, your teachers. You are doing something that goes against what they're saying and asking. To be greedy, to want everything for yourself. To be impolite and to forget using your manners. To be lazy and just to lay around and not do the work that you need to do. To be mean and rude. I don't have to say many things about that, but those things make your friends and your family not smile. It makes them frown. To be selfish. You want everything for yourself. To be unfriendly. To not show your kind manners. To be dishonest. To hide or conceal the truth. And to be jealous. You want what everybody else has and you're not happy until you have it. So those negative traits are important to talk about because we want to try our best to only display our positive character traits. Because your actions, the things you do, and your dialogue, the things you say, that tells people what kind of person you are. And we want everyone to come in contact with you to know what a wonderful person you are. Now, in order to learn a little bit more about character traits, I have a story here to share with you today. It's called Queen of the Diamond, the Lizzie Murphy Story. The first woman to play on both Major League All-Star teams. The author is Emily Arnold McCulley. So now in this story, before I begin reading it to you, I'm going to keep our character traits poster displayed throughout this story. I want you to take a look at this chart while I'm reading and see if you can figure out some of the traits that the characters are displaying that we talk about. Let's get started. Queen of the Diamond, the Lizzie Murphy Story. In 1900, baseball was America's national pastime. No other form of entertainment came close. Every boy owned a ball, a glove, and a dream. In Warren, Rhode Island, there were several amateur teams, and Lizzie Murphy followed all of them. Her father had played on one as a young man. Her brother Henry was a shortstop to one of the best boys' teams in the area. To sharpen his game, he played catch with Lizzie in the yard. Even at 6 years old, Lizzie threw straight to Henry's glove. Thunk, thunk, thunk. They did this for hours until the sun went down and the fireflies winked. "You're a natural, Lizzie," her father said. Oh, now there's some words or dialogue her father said. You're a natural. It sounds like her father is very encouraging. That's one of the character traits he's displaying. And her brother, to constantly play in the yard with her and practice her game, he is very kind. "I want to be a first baseman like you were," Lizzie told him. "She's good enough," Henry said. "Don't encourage her," said her mother. "It's not a game for girls." "But she loves it," her father said. "She can throw and catch as well as any boy." He gave Lizzie his old ball and glove to keep. She carried them everywhere. So now we meet the character of her mother. And at this time in history, one second. In this time in history, girls weren't supposed to be doing the same things boys were doing. They didn't quite think that girls could do the same things. But Lizzie definitely could. So a character trait that her mother is displaying right now, she's quite not believing in her. Not because she doesn't believe in her as a mother, but because she is just going by how everyone felt in society at this time. Lizzie went to all of Henry's games. She watched the plays and could see that a fielder had to throw fast and true to the baseman for an out. She was dying to be on the field. When she was 8, she asked Eddie, the captain, to let her try out for the team. He shook his head, no. Ooh. So now we meet another character, Eddie, the captain of the team, and he said no. There's some dialogue, there's some action, shaking head, saying you cannot be on the team. This is showing that he's very uncooperative. He is not willing to cooperate. He is not showing good teamwork. Please, Lizzie begged. You're a girl, Lizzie. She's good, Henry said. She can help us win. The boys laughed. Lizzie saw they wouldn't budge. Then can I carry your bats, she asked. A girl bat boy? The team huddled for a minute. Okay, sure, Eddie said, sighing. It was a start. She was a part of the team. Now Lizzie, although she didn't want to be the girl bat boy, at least now she got her way onto a little bit part of the team, which shows that she is being hopeful, another character trait of hers. A few weeks later, they went to nearby Cranston to play another team. Who has the ball? Eddie asked when they got there. Everyone looked sheepish. No one on either team had brought one. Well, what do we do? It's time to start. I've got a ball, Lizzie piped up. Good, Eddie said. Let's have it. Lizzie held on to it. I want to play first base, she said. There was dead silence. Let her play, Henry said. Eddie rolled his eyes and waved Lizzie to first base. She couldn't help grinning. The Cranston team started hooting and calling out insults. Go back to your knitting. Where is your dolly? Oh, those are not very nice things that they are yelling out. So that dialogue, let's go to the negative side. Those are mean and rude comments that they are making. But Lizzie doesn't care. She is confident in her abilities, that she can play and do just as good as these boys, if not better. Lizzie punched her glove. She had a job to do. She looked over at Henry to see if he was ready. Henry nodded. The third baseman nodded. Next, she checked the pitcher, Mick. He was watching the catcher for a signal. Then he glanced at Lizzie. He raised an eyebrow. She punched her glove. Okay, let's go, let's go. You can do it, she muttered to herself. She believes in herself. That is another character trait. She's telling herself, I can do it, and she knows she can do it. She is not going to give up. A word to describe her is persistent. That means to keep reaching for your goals and not to give up at any challenge that comes along your way. The first batter stepped up to the plate. Mick threw the pitch, a strike. He wound up and threw again, crack! It was a grounder to Henry. He scooped up the ball and fired it to Lizzie the way they'd practiced for years. She caught it. The runner was out. Lizzie did it. She is showing these boys she is just as good as they are. At bat, Lizzie hit 2 doubles, a triple, and then a single. Once, she struck out. But that happened in the 9th inning, and her team had already been ahead 10-0. Lizzie tingled with happiness. Lizzie, you can play with us anytime you want, said Eddie. The other players called out. 3 cheers for Lizzie! Henry pretended to sock her. So now, even though she had wonderful hits, she did strike out, and that's okay because we are not perfect. And she didn't let that bother her because she went on to win with the team. And then in the end, 3 cheers for Lizzie. They're now showing their positive character traits. They're cheering for her. They're cooperative. Lizzie, you can play with us anytime you want. When Lizzie turned 12, she went to work in a textile mill with the rest of the Murphys, standing at a loom. All day, she had plenty of time to daydream. Memories of base hits, double plays, and the thrill of fast teamwork. On her days off, during the cold months, she practiced the violin, played on ice hockey teams, and won foot races. Lizzie was an all-around athlete with a lot of talent. In the warm months, she won quite a few swimming races, too, but she always ended up on a baseball diamond. That was her true passion. But of course we can see here she's very, very athletic. She's good at pretty much any sport or any hobby that she tries. Why? Because she is hardworking. She's committed to getting better at the things that she has a goal of achieving. By the time she was 15, she was a regular on 2 amateur teams, the Silkettes and the Warren Baseball Club. She played any position that was open because she was equally good at all of them. That doesn't come naturally. She worked very, very hard for that. 3 years later, her mother sat her down for a serious talk. "You are a grown-up lady now, Lizzie." Lizzie figured she knew what was coming. "It's time to give up baseball." "But it's what I do best." "A woman can't support herself on a ball field. It's hard enough for a man." Maybe her mother was right. She thought baseball wasn't for girls. I don't think she should give up her dream. I think she should keep reaching for the stars. The next day, Lizzie watched a game instead of playing in one. It was strange to sit in the stands. In the 4th inning, a batter hit a weak ball to the third baseman, who dropped it. Lizzie leaped to her feet and nearly ran out onto the field. She loved baseball. She was better than most of the men. How could she give it up? Warren also had a semi-pro team, and the players were paid. Maybe she could make a living at baseball. She had to try. The manager had seen her play. "Sure, we'll start you at first base," he said. His eyes twinkled. He was thinking that people would come in droves to see a girl on the field. The newspaper printed the story. Lizzie Murphy had signed with the team. "This is just the beginning," Lizzie told the reporters. "I'll be traveling all over. It will be an education." "How will you ever get married?" her mother said. "Don't care. I want to play baseball." The stands were already overflowing with excited fans when Lizzie arrived for her first game. "Wow," Lizzie said. "What's going on?" "They're here to see you," said the manager. Lizzie trotted to first base, telling herself to calm down. "Let's go. You're playing your favorite position." "Way to go!" She punched her glove and bounced on her toes. She was getting ready. Then the announcer yelled, "Play ball!" The first batter popped up to the shortstop. The second hit a grounder to the second baseman, who pegged it to Lizzie, who tagged the batter out. And the third struck out. Inning was over. When Lizzie was up, she hit a triple. Her team won 10-2. Lizzie was mobbed. When the manager handed out a pay envelope to the players, he walked right past Lizzie. Now, why would the manager not give Lizzie a pay envelope? He knows that her skills are just as good as the boys. But in that time, he felt that she was just playing as a volunteer, that she shouldn't get paid. That was a very unkind thing of him to do, and that was a negative character trait he's displaying. Let's see if Lizzie gives up because of that, or she keeps on going. Lizzie kept quiet, but she made a plan. At practice, the next week, she gave it her all. On Saturday, they were to play a game in Newport. Lizzie waited until everyone else had boarded the bus. Then she refused to get on. "Lizzie, let's go," barked the manager. "You owe me my cut from last week's game," said Lizzie. "The men got $5 and a share of what the fans dropped in the can you passed around the bleachers." So does it sound like Lizzie gave up? I don't think so. She made a plan, and she is demanding that she get her equal pay. I like this plan. "Look here, Lizzie," the manager said. "You'll quit to get married someday. These fellows have to earn a living." "I do too," Lizzie protested. "This is my job. People are coming just to watch you." The manager sputtered. "That's right," said Lizzie. "Pay me the same as the men." Players called from the bus. "Hey, she earned it fair and square. Give Lizzie her share." Now look at those dialogue, those words from her teammates. They're telling the manager, they're standing up for her, they're supporting her. Being supportive is another wonderful positive character trait. Hand it over. Good for you, Lizzie. The manager handed her $5 plus her share of what they'd collected from fans. Lizzie boarded the bus. Hip hip hooray for Lizzie Murphy! The team cried. A few days later, Lizzie's mother gave her a package. It was her baseball uniform, washed and neatly folded. Across the chest and the back, her mother had stitched the words, Lizzie Murphy. "You're a pro now," said her mother. "Your fans will want to see your name." For the next 17 years, Lizzie Murphy played professional baseball. And she always made sure she was paid as much as the men. Fans called her the Queen of Baseball. The end. That was a beautiful story that showed both positive character traits and, unfortunately, some negative character traits from other people. Some teammates, the manager, some friends she was playing with. But the best thing about this story of why I love Lizzie Murphy is that she was determined, and she was persistent, and she was kind. In all of the times where someone said she wasn't as good as the boys, or she couldn't play, or she wouldn't get paid, was she ever mean to anybody? She wasn't ever mean to anyone. She always took the high road and was still very kind and very hopeful and very determined. So boys and girls, I think we should all be a little bit like Lizzie Murphy. Remember, actions speak louder than words, so be careful of the things you say and the things you do. People will remember how you make them feel, so you always want to lift them up, make them smile, and help them have a wonderful day. Now, my students, since I'm a 4th grade teacher, my students had an assignment. Each year when we're in school, we do a living wax museum. That means the students pick a famous figure in their eyes, and they need to research them, and they need to pretend to be them. So I gave my students a challenge. I said, we're going to do a virtual living wax museum this year. So what they needed to do was they needed to pick their famous person, they researched them, and now they are going to take over the show, and they're going to teach you a few things about their famous figures in our presentation of our 4th grade Living Wax Museum.
I'm Queen Elizabeth II, and I was born on April 21st, 1926 in London, England. During World War II, at the age of 14, I made my first radio broadcast to reassure the British children impacted by the war. After the war, I married Prince Philip, and we had 4 children together. In 1952, I became the Queen of the United Kingdom. I am the longest-serving monarch in British history, having reigned for more than 68 years and counting.
I'm Lady Diana Frances Spencer. In 1981, I married my Prince Charming, Prince Charles of England. It was known as the wedding of the century. From that day on, I went from a nobody to Princess Diana of Wales. We live in Buckingham Palace, which is a 600-room however for British families. We had 2 boys, Prince William and Henry. I love books, fashion, music, and working for charitable causes, especially helping sick and elderly. In 1987, opened my first British hospital to treat people with AIDS. In 1996, I got divorced from Prince Charles. The photographers handed me everywhere. I went August 30th, 1997. In South France, my driver was trying to avoid photographers called paparazzis that were chasing us in the car. My driver lost control and crashed into a Paris tunnel. I died at the age of 36.
Go.
Hi, my name is Amelia Mary Earhart. I was born in July 24, 1893 in Atchison, Kansas. I just appeared on July 2nd, 1937. at age 39. I was the first female pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. The plane I flew over the Atlantic Ocean was a Lockheed Vega B-5.
My name is John Chapman, known as Johnny Appleseed. I was born in Massachusetts on September 26, 1774. I am an American pioneer nurseryman who introduced apple trees to large parts of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, as well as the northern counties of present-day West Virginia.
Hi, I'm George Washington. I was born on February 22nd, 1732 in Virginia. I was a Virginian plantation owner, political leader, military general, statesman, and founding father of the United States. I led the Patriot Force to 2 victories as a commanding general of the Army. I commanded American forces to ally with the French, and we led to the defeat and surrender of the British during the Siege of Yorktown. I was the first president of the United States of America from 1789 to 1797. Some things you may not know about me: I was a teacher and loved dogs, especially my 30 American foxhounds. I resigned my commission after the Treaty of Paris in 1783. I played a key role in adopting the Constitution, and I was elected twice as president by the Electoral College. I was called the father of my country for my leadership of the new nation. Upon my death on December 14th, 1799, I was talked about as first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of my countrymen. I have been memorialized by monuments of art, geographical locations, postage stamps, and on currency. Many scholars have ranked me among the greatest U.S. presidents.
Hello, my name is John Fitzgerald Kennedy, born on May 29, 1917, to Joseph and Rose Kennedy in Brookline, Massachusetts, the second of 9 children. I joined the Navy in 1941 and had 2 years. 2 years later, I was sent to South Pacific, where I commanded a patrol torpedo boat, the PT-109. In August of 1943, in the Solomon Islands, the craft was struck by a Japanese destroyer. I helped my marooned crew to safety and was awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Medal of Heroism. In January 1947, at the age of 29, I entered the 80th Congress. I then went on to win re-election to the House of Representatives in 1948 and 1950. In 1952, I ran successfully for the Senate. 2 years later, I had back surgery, and during my recovery, I wrote a best-selling book, Profiles in Courage, which won the Pulitzer Prize for biography in 1957. In 1960, I was elected the 35th President of the United States. At age 43, I was the youngest and first Roman Catholic president of the time.
Hello, my name is Babe Ruth, and in 1914 I began my career as a professional baseball player. I was called the Sultan of SWAT and once hit 3 home runs in a single game. I held the record for home runs until 1974.
Hi, my name is Lou Gehrig. I was born on June 19, 1903. I played for the New York Yankees for 17 years and played 2,130 consecutive games, and that is why they call me the Iron Horse. I am also known for my speech where I said I am the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I died at the age of 37 by what is now called the Lou Gehrig disease.
Hi, my name is Don Mattingly, or some people call me Donnie Baseball. I was a professional baseball player for 14 years, and I played my whole career on the New York Yankees. I was a left-handed first baseman and a very good hitter, with a career batting average of .307. I wore number 23 before it became so popular, and I am currently the manager of the Miami Marlins. I can't wait to get back to baseball.
Hi, my name is Roberto Clemente. I was born on August 18th, 1934 in Puerto Rico. I'm the youngest of 7 children. From an early age, I developed an interest in baseball. When I was 16, I joined Puerto Rico's amateur league. Because of my great skills as a sportsman, my name was written in cornerstones of schools, hospitals, as well as many other public buildings, including monuments and statues. I was the first Latin player to collect 3,000 career hits. During my career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, I was a National League MVP. I was a World Series MVP in 1971, a 15-time All-Star, a 12-time Golden Glove winner, 4-time National League batting champion, and inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I died on December 31st, 1972 in a plane crash on a mission to aid earthquake victims. I dedicated my life to helping others.
Hi, my name is Mary Lee Retton, and I'm a full 5-time Olympic medalist, and I was the first American woman to win an all-around gold medal, and I was named Sports Illustrated Sportswoman of the Year and was the first female on the Wheaties box.
Hi, my name is Shannon Miller. I was born March 10, 1977. I started gymnastics in 1982, and I always dreamed of getting an Olympic medal. Not only did I get 1, I got 7. I practiced hard each day, and now I'm the world's most decorated gymnast. Other people may not have high expectations for me, but I have high expectations for myself.
Stanley Fox. I was born on July 28, 1958 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is in Canada. I had my leg amputated in 1980 due to cancer, so I decided to run a marathon of hope from east to west coast on my prosthetic leg in order to raise money for cancer research. I ran over 5,000 kilometers, which is 3,300 miles, before my cancer spread and cost me my life at age 21. Canadians still run the Marathon of Hope every year, and together we have raised almost $1 billion to help cure cancer.
My name is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I was born in Brooklyn, New York on February 17, 1963. After playing basketball at the University of North Carolina and winning a national championship, I was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. With the Bulls, I won 6 championships in 8 years. I am considered by many to be the greatest player of all time. I'm the current owner of Charlotte Hornets and was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. But my most important accomplishment was being awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Patricia Morgan, and I play for the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team. I was born on July 2nd, 1989 in San Dimas, California. I started playing organized soccer when I was 14 years old. I became the youngest member of the U.S. National Team in 2009 and was the first overall draft pick in the 2011 Women's Professional Soccer Draft. After that, I became an official member of the U.S. team.
Hello, my name is J.K. Rowling,
and I'm the author of the Harry Potter book series. Ever since I was a little girl, I've always dreamed of being a writer. The inspiration for Harry Potter came to me during a long train ride to London in 1990, when suddenly a picture of a boy with round glasses and a lightning bolt scar popped into my head. By the time I reached London, I had a whole new world in my head. One day, I hoped I could write a book about it. I soon sketched out a rough plan for a 7-book series featuring the boy wizard. The first book in the series, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was published in 1997. The final book, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, was published in 2007. The best part of writing my stories is knowing that children all over the world were reading them and loving them.
Hi, my name is Jeff Kenny. I'm the best-selling author and illustrator of the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid. As a young reader, I was inspired by books of Judy Blume and Beverly Cleary. Not only am I a successful cartoonist, I'm also a successful game developer, designer, and creator of Pop Tropica. Pop Tropica is a game where you travel through islands to complete quests. I currently reside in Massachusetts with my wife and my 2 sons.
Hello, my name is Stan Lee. I was born on December 28, 1922. I worked in the U.S. Army in 1942. During my service, I worked with Theodore Geisel, which you may know today as Dr. Seuss. After my service, I worked on comics. My most successful one was Spider-Man. I published 2 decades of comics, which are now record-breaking movies.
Hello, my name is Theodore Seuss Gazelle, or better known as Dr. Seuss. In 1937, I published my first book, And to Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. As the years went on, I ended up publishing more than 60 books. Some of them you may know as The Cat in the Hat in 1957, or Green Eggs and Ham in 1960, plus many, many more. The last book I published before my death in 1991 was Oh, the Places You'll Go. Many of my books have been turned into movies throughout the years, and I even have my own holiday. Every year on March 2nd, which is my birthday, the nation celebrates Dr. Seuss Day, or better known as National Read Across America Day.
I am Tom Cruise. I was born on July 3rd, 1962 in Syracuse, New York. I began acting in the early 1980s and made my breakthrough in the comedy films Risky Businesses in 1983, Top Gun in 1986, Color of Money 1986, Rain Man in 1988, and born on the 4th of July in 1983. I am one of Hollywood's most popular looking men. Now for my clean cut, good looks, and personality, I am Tom Cruise.
My name is Madonna. I was born in August 1958. I am a singer, songwriter, and actress. I am known as the Queen of Pop, and I am the best-selling female artist of all time.
My name is Charlie Chaplin. I was born in London, England on April 16, 1889. I was an iconic figure of the silent film era and was one of the film's first superstars. I wrote and directed some of the most memorable films like The Kid, Gold Rush, and City Lights. I received an Academy Award in 1972 for my impact of the motion picture industry.
My name is Lucille Ball. I was born on August 6, 1911 in Jamestown, New York, and died at age 77 in Los Angeles, California. I was an American actress, comedian, model, studio executive, and producer. I was the first woman to run a major television studio. My most famous show was, and still is, I Love Lucy. I married Desi Arnaz and have a son and a daughter. One of my most famous quotes is, "One in his life, every man is entitled to fall madly in love with a gorgeous redhead."
Hello, my name is Coco Chanel. I was born on August 19, 1883 in Samarra, France. When my mom died at the age of 32, my father sent my sisters and me to the orphanage. At the orphanage, I learned how to sew. As I got older, I became a French fashion designer, Nazi spy, and a businesswoman. I am known for such now classic innovations, such as the women's suit, the quilted purse, costume, jewelry, and the little black dress. I hope you enjoyed my life story.
Hi, my name is Jane Doodle. My job is to go around and inspire people to take action. The first book that I have ever owned was the story of Dr. Dolittle, which inspired me to go to Africa. I was 26 years old when I finally got to go to Dundee in Africa to study about the chimpanzees. In 1986, I learned about deforestation and destruction of the chimps' habitat, so I went around the world to talk for the chimps to help save them. I still do this today at age 86.
I am George Washington Carver. I was born into slavery in Diamond Grove, Missouri in 1864. At age 10, I helped all the neighbors with their plants and flowers. I became known as the plant doctor. I went on to study chemistry, geology, botany, and zoology. I wrote the famous booklet, How to Grow the Peanut and 105 Ways to Prepare It for Human Consumption. I worked on the faculty at Tuskegee Institute for 40 years. There is now a museum there in my name.
Hi, I'm Leonardo da Vinci. I am a famous painter who painted the Mona Lisa. I was born on April 15, 1452 in Vinci, Italy. Did you know in 2017, Salvatore Mundi, a painting attributed to me, sold for $450.3 million?
Hi, I'm Sally Ryder, born May 26, 1951 in Los Angeles, California. I was an American astronaut and physicist. I joined NASA in 1978. I became the first American woman in space in 1983. I remain the youngest astronaut to have traveled to space, having done so at the age of 32. After flying the orbited Challenger twice, I left NASA in 1987.
Hello, my name is Sir Frederick Grant Banting. I was born in Alliston, New Tecumseth, Canada on November 14th, 1891. I'm a medical scientist and physician. I'm most known for earning a Nobel Prize for my part in the discovery of insulin in the 1920s. This discovery contributed to the successful treatment of diabetes and saving millions of lives. People with type 1 diabetes can control their blood sugar by introducing insulin multiple times a day. It's one of the biggest discoveries in medicine.
Hi, my name is Henry Ford, and I was born in Greenfield, Michigan on July 30th, 1863. At the age of 33, I created the first car, the Model T. It was affordable for most Americans. The nickname was Tin Lizzie. I later created the assembly line, selling millions of cars, and became a famous business leader. I died at the age of 83.
Hi, I'm Steve Jobs. Today I'm going to tell you about my life. I was born February 24th, 1955 and died October 5th, 2011. I was an innovator at the start of the personal computer era. I started the Apple company in 1976 with my friend Steve Wozniak. It turned into a successful worldwide company that people still use today. We invented many common products such as the Apple iPhone and the Apple iPod. These electronics help pave the way of the world of technology and will continue to do so in our future. Oh, excuse me, I have to take this call on my Apple iPhone. Thank you for your time today. Hello, Steve Jobs here.
On December 5th, 1901, I, Walter Elias Disney, was born in Chicago, Illinois. I was most known for my Disney cartoon productions. My favorite character was Goofy. I played the voice of Mickey Mouse from 1928 to 1947. I loved trains so much, I built a 1/8 scale with a quarter-mile long of track in my backyard. I died from lung cancer in 1971. I was 65. I did not get to see the opening of Disney World.
My name is Milton Hershey, and I was born September 13th, 1857. I left school at age 12, but only could read and write like a 4th grader. I made my own candy shop at age 19, but I was forced to quit. I fell in love with caramel, like this. I sold my caramel company for $1 million to make chocolate. I made chocolate on an assembly line, like this. Although I make great chocolate, I also made a great town, Hershey, Pennsylvania. And unfortunately, I died October 13th, 1945, at age 88.
I hope you enjoyed our Living Wax Museum tour. I'm sure during the show you noticed many of our positive character traits displayed by the famous figures that were shown in our presentation. I am so proud of all of my boys and girls for the hard work that they have done. It shows that they are dedicated to their learning, and I'm very proud of them all. And thank you to WVIA for giving us this time spot for learning at home with you. So thank you for joining me on Learn at Home with VIA.
My name is Wayne Hiller. I'm the Museum and Facilities Manager for the Lackawanna County Trolley Museum. Our museum opened in 1999. Our mission here at the museum is to educate folks about our rich heritage and how electric traction started in Scranton, Pennsylvania. In 1999, with the partnership of the Electric City Trolley Museum Association in Lackawanna County, the museum acquired displays, artifacts, and trolleys. We also have a restoration shop where the trolleys are restored to their original state. All the cars have a history. We have an open car in the Fourth Bay area that once ran in New Jersey and also in New York City. That was built in 1906. Car 46, which was restored, that operated in the Philadelphia area in the 1930s and 1940s. We have 23 cars in our collection. There are several that are displayed throughout the museum, and there are several that we utilize for our excursion. Two of the cars that are in our excursion are Car 80 and Car 76.
My name is James Kosadar. I'm the Chief Motorman Conductor for the Electric City Trolley. I've been operating this trolley and conducting on this for the past 19 years. This is our 19th season doing this. Here we go. When we leave the museum and begin our journey, I like to point out where they're going, all about the ride, the historical attributes of this ride. As we continue, you're going to pass directly underneath the Lackawanna Station, one of the most historic buildings in the city. And today it's the Radisson Hotel, but that building there was famous for the Phoebe Snow coming in and out of that station back in the day. Again, as you're looking to your left, you'll see the waterfall and the gorge area of Scranton. Spectacular view here. You can only get this view from the trolley and from this bridge that we're crossing. Directly in front of us, the tunnel. This is the Loreline Tunnel. It was known as the Crown Avenue Tunnel. It was built in 1904 and it was finished in 1905, 1 year. And it was all done by hand, an army of men. And it cost $1 million to finish that tunnel. 1 mile long. It's a constant 55 degrees in that tunnel, summer and winter. As we've left South Scranton, now we're going underneath Interstate 81 and the last remnants of civilization for the next 2.5 miles. And it is a fantastic voyage through this forestry. It is actually a wetland area. And we're going to be passing what was once called Meadow Lake. And this lake housed a dance hall where people back in the old days walked all the time, would come out to the dances on Friday and Saturday nights. And you can see remnants of that building here. But welcome back again to society. But you just traveled through a very interesting, magical forest that you only get to see if you're on the trolley. And suddenly you're around the curve and at the ballpark in a restoration shop. Unfortunately, the trolley systems ended in 1954, the last car running in Greenridge in December of that year, and it was the end of a bygone era.